guerrilla action, as he often remarked to the woman everyone, including their children, thought was his wife, and whom he had met in SDS at the Chicago Convention in 1969, was as protean and changeable as the needs of the people. It was also true, however, that Bob Carlson, sophomore work-study student, was as invisible to the horticulturists, though he passed them every day, as Old Meats was to the rest of the campus. No busy digger or mulcher ever noticed him unlock the door beside the loading dock and enter, though he did it openly and in full view, often carrying bulky sacks. To them, Old Meats was a hillock in the center of the campus, a field for covering with vines and flowers. To Bob, it was a convenient job, an extension of his life on the farm. But instead of helping his dad feed and care for 1,000 sows and their offspring, Bob tended to only one hog, a landrace boar named Earl Butz. Right on Earl's pen, Bob had taped up a sign that read, "Get big or get out." Every time Bob saw that sign, it gave him a chuckle. It was just the sort of joke his dad would appreciate, even though, of course, he had agreed to tell no one, not even his dad, about Earl's venue, a sparkling new, clean, air-conditioned, and profoundly well-ventilated Ritz-Carlton of a room, or Earl's business, which was eating, only eating and forever eating. Just now, as Bob entered, Earl Butz was at the trough, but he noted Bob's arrival, acknowledging the young man with a flick of his ears and a switch of his little tail. Earl Butz was a good worker, who applied himself to his assigned task with both will and enjoyment. Already today he had cleaned the back end of his trough, and now he was working industriously toward the front, offering the low-pitched hog noises that expressed his suitability to his lot in life. Earl Butz had been eating for 18 months, which was just exactly how old he was. He was white as cream cheese or sugar, and fastidious. Bob had noticed that every day, during his breaks from eating, he liked to nose and kick clean straw into a nice nest near the trough and far from the toileting area. Earl Butz also liked a bath and had no objection to the lifting and cleaning of his trotters. He was an agreeable hog, and Bob liked him. At Christmas, Bob had purchased some large, sturdy red toys, a big ball, a hoop that hung from a ceiling beam, and a blanket, from a kennel catalog. They had been Earl Butz's first toys, and he played with them when he could fit the time into his work schedule. Bob filled his trough, emptied and refilled his water reservoir, and scratched his back with a stick. He had been tending Earl Butz since November. He visited him 5 times every day, and Dr. Bo Jones, Earl's owner, said that he was the best caretaker they'd found. Bob took the compliment for what it was, a testament to the fact that he felt more comfortable with Earl than he did with anyone else he had met since coming to the university. He had his own reasons for not telling his dad about Earl Butz, and they all revolved around the worry his family would experience when they found out that although he was doing fine in his classes and eating and sleeping well, he had made no friends among the 24,000 other students on the campus and spent the time he should have spent at parties and bars in his room, writing letters to kids from his high school, 5 letters to girls for every one to a guy, since girls liked to get them and always wrote back. And guys, well, it was hard to tell about guys. They all, at their jobs and colleges, seemed to be partying hearty and getting lucky on a regular schedule. It was this very knowledge that all his old friends were having the time of their lives, wherever they were, that had finally kept Bob on the campus all summer. His dad, though he missed the help with the farm work, couldn't sneer at the money, more than Bob would make at the A&W at home, and a real bite in the tuition bill. And, of course, it had never occurred to Dr. Bo Jones that Bob would even think of abandoning Earl Butz. The rapidity with which the two had become associated, even twinned in Dr. Bo Jones' mind, would have astounded him had he thought about it. But he was not in the habit of introspection. "Hog," he said, "is a mysterious creature, not much studied in the wild, owing to viciousness and elusiveness. Can't get the papers, to take yourself to Uzbekistan, even if you had the funding. Never been a